1952 Shochiku film Kurama Tengu, Tengu Kaijo, director Tatsuo Oson. The original story of Kurama Tengu was written by Jiro Osaragi, 1897–1973, who was born in Naka-ku, Yokohama. Jiro Osaragi has written many historical drama novels, creating 21 Kurama Tengu stories over a 31 years period from 1925 to 1966. It is also an astonishing record that 40 works have been made into movies. All of these are starring Arakan, Kanjyuro Arashi. This long series of movies is a record for historical dramas. I also remember watching Kurama Tengu from Arakan since I was about 8 years old. This movie will be Kurama Tengu 30th movie, and it seems that Arakan was 50 years old. As you all know, the Tokugawa shogunate lasted for 260 years. But the number of common people who believed that the Tokugawa shogunate was not good for the common people of the time was increasing. This is because the shogunate tortured the good people, closed off the country, and ruled as a dictatorship. In the final years of the shogunate, the United States came to Japan to press for exgigs with Japan while using the largest warships Japanese had never seen in the past. This visiting had a major influence on Tokugawa shogunate and all Japanese. The group that to create a new Japan was called Kinuha, and the central character is Kurama Tengu. As a result, the 260-year-old Tokugawa shogunate was overthrown. The Meiji Restoration took place in the first year of the Meiji era, and a new government was established. Kurama Tengu is not a real person, but Jiro Osaragi created a fictional character and wrote a novel about him as one of the leading figures in the era of major changes in Japan. As you know, in Japan, even though Kurama Tengu is a fictional character, it is still a popular story in modern times. So, to find out what kind of story it is, let's take a look at the 30th Kurama Tengu, Tengu Kaijo. Tengu Kaijo was written by Kurama Tengu, who informed the Shinsengumi Tat was aiming for the lives of Kinu members. But that was not true. If you are interested, please check it out on YouTube or DVD. In Kyoto at the end of the Edo period, Osono, Yasuko Fujita, and Nakama Yahei, Fujimoto militia, who have been sheltering from the rain at the main gate of Chion Temple, meet a young samurai from the countryside named Mayumi Murao, Yataro Kitakami, who is taking shelter from the rain. I saw someone kindly showing him the way. Osono was surprised when he later learned from Yahei that the samurai was Kurama Tengu, Kanjyuro Arashi. Osono's father, Munakata Sakin, Masao Mishima, does not listen to her repeated warnings and is obsessed with the ronin of the king who overthrew the shogunate. However, because of Sakin's constant postings like Tengu Kaiju, his prey was stolen by the Shinsengumi that preceded them. On that same day, when Sakin tried to kill Kinu 2 members, Kikutani, Oki Minoru, and Hayasaka, Kobayashi Jushiro, at Sanjagawara, they were taken away by the Shinsengumi as well. During a meeting with Katsura Kogoro, Kukichi Takada, Kurama Tengu learns that Kikutani and Hayasaka are in danger due to the advice of Kakube Jishi's Sugasaku, Masora Habari, and Shinkichi, Katsura Guro. So Kurama Tengu rescues them and takes a boat from Fushimi. The old samurai who was kind to them at that time looked exactly like Sakin Munakata, who had attacked them. This samurai was Sakin's older brother and an ally of the Kinu's side called Omi no Kami, Masao Mishima, of Munakata, but the Tengu, who did not know this, could not help but look at the Munakata clan with suspicion. The hint to tell you apart in the movie is that Sakin has a sly look on his face and his left eye is narrow. Katsura Koguro's hard work has not been worth it. And upon hearing that the hasty Choshu soldiers will invade Kyoto with a large army to counter the shogunate, Omi no Kami, who has the power, has no choice but to mobilize the court nobles to stop this. Koguro went to the castle of Munakata Omi no Kami to make a request. When Sakin learned of this, he went ahead and imprisoned his older brother, Omi no Kami, and pretended to be his substitute. However, Sugasaku and Shinkichi knew about the substitution mechanism. So they rushed in and loudly told Koguro that the person there was not Omi no Kami, but his brother Munakata Sakin. Before Sugasaku tells Koguro that Munakata Sakin is a fake, Koguro is about to give Munakata Sakin a secret letter that Koguro wants Sakin to give to the court noble. Sugasaku walks up to the two men and tells Koguro that you must not give it to him, that the man is a fake, and that he is the terrible man who attacked Mr. Kikutani and Mr. Hayasaka at the Sanjo riverbank. When Koguro asked who you were, he laughed and said, "I'm Munakata Sakin," in order to paint a bad name on his worthless brother. He is doing his best for the shogunate and going around shooting Kinu group. At the same time, in Omi no Kami's garden, Osono asks Murao to please help his uncle, Omi no Kami. And Kichibe, Kawada Haruhisa, who was hiding in the garden, asks, "Hey, young man over there. You don't help people even if they ask you, are you still a samurai?" If he doesn't see righteousness, he says, "I'll help you," and runs towards the castle. Although he is not very skilled with the sword, he is a strong ally of Tengu Kurama, who is good at singing and has a strong sense of justice. At first, Murao was hesitant to take Osono's side, perhaps because he volunteered to join the Shinsengumi. He thought that he should change his mind all at once, partly because he was told by Kurama Tengu's ally so badly, but Murao still knows what justice is and what humans should do. He immediately told Osono that he would save your uncle and headed towards the castle. The image returns to the room, but Sakin is holding a short gun and shoot Koguro in the left shoulder. His physical strength suddenly decreased, and Koguro was in danger of not being able to use his left shoulder. Kurama Tengu rushed on horseback to the place where Murao was helping Omi no Kami and fighting with Sakin's retainers. Tengu asks Omi no Kami that today is the day to end with you because you are an enemy of both of us. And Teng asks him if you do not know about Tengu Kaiju. But Omi no Kami replies that Omi no Kami doesn't know what it is. The Tengu went on to say that all the characters in Tengu Kaiju were written in the same handwriting, which was the best proof. When Tengu showed him the character 10 written on an origami crane, Uncle Omi no Kami continued, "I keep saying I don't understand." However, at this point, Osono, for the first time, said coldly that this was written by me. The Tengu was also surprised, but Yahei, the servant, immediately defended her, saying that it was I who did it, not Osono. However, Osono stopped Yahei. And in order to protect my father from danger, I sent the materials I had gathered to the Shinsengumi, naming them Tengu Kaijyo, and sending them to the Shinsengumi before my father. Loudly did you allow the assassination? Tengu cursed. Immediately after that, Tengu runs to the mansion, saying that he will kill your father, Sakin. Immediately after that, Murao said, I will protect your father, Sakin, with my life. Tengu is certainly a great person. However, he says that Tengu is my archenemy, but Omi no Kami says that you should wait. The young man must live. So leave him to me. But when Murao says that Omi no Kami is the most important person, Omi no Kami points to the Tengu and says that what is important is that, Kurama Tengu. Now, Kogoro and Sugasaku were on the side of the castle, so upon being told by Kurama Tengu, Kichibe ran to help them, but there were many retainers on the other side. And Kogoro was shot in the left shoulder. He couldn't fight anymore. As a result, the three were tied up with ropes. Tengu fights against the retainers in order to save the three. But Sakin points his gun at Tengu again. It doesn't hit the Tengu, who makes several violent movements. When he finally ran out of bullets, he repeatedly told his servants to get a gun. Since it is a castle, the dynamic movements of the Tengu climbing up and down the stairs under the tower, which is the tallest tower in the castle, are thrilling. Unlike other film companies, the way Tengu and Arakan, Kanjyuro Arashi, act in historical dramas is different from that of other movie companies, and he doesn't take down their opponents lightly. The battle was so close that it was unclear whether Tengu would win or lose, which made me wonder many times if Arakan would lose here. That's why Arakan's movements have a sense of tragedy, which thrilled the audience. I've never seen any other actor do this kind of movement. So in my opinion, Arakan is the best historical drama actor. Now, seeing Sakin cornered, Otos, Katsuko Shiori, realizes that it's no good and protects Sakin, asking Tengu to cut me off in place of her father. Tengu learns for the first time that Sakin's daughters are two, and he corners Sakin again, telling him that a devilish father like you have two such kind daughters. Sakin started laughing out loud. That's because when he looked down from the top floor, he saw about 10 gunners are going to shoot at Tengu from the ground as instructed. Shoot regardless of me. When Sakin said that, they started firing recklessly from below, and the bullet hit Sakin, killing him instantly. Murao knew that Tengu was justice itself, and that he lived an exemplary life. However, due to his youth, Murao decided that Tengu was still an opponent he had to defeat. On the other hand, Omi no Kami was fully aware that Kurama Tengu was the most important person for the future of Japan, so he was convinced that what was important was Kurama Tengu. There is probably no patriot who risked his life to fight for the future of Japan as much as Kurama Tengu. I said that Omi no Kami knows that Tengu is the most important person right now. But that is because it has already been proven historically. As you know, Japan was ruled by the Tokugawa shogunate for 260 years. Only blood relatives of Tokugawa Ieyasu, first generation, were entrusted with the role of representative of the shogunate, and even if you were more capable and motivated, you could not become a representative of the shogunate unless you had Tokugawa blood flowing through your veins. If we do that, the country will not improve. This is clear from the fact that in modern Japan, the prime minister is not chosen based on blood relationship. However, this does not mean that prime ministers are not chosen based on blood ties. When we consider that all interaction with foreign countries was prohibited and Japanese could only do anything within Japan, there is no people who can see the significance in the fact that the samurai era of the Tokugawa shogunate lasted for 260 years. In this way, the Meiji era was born. When the shogunate system was abolished, samurai were stopped, and trade with foreign countries was started, even if reluctantly. The Kinnu faction, which tried to achieve direct government, had a large presence. I don't know if Kurama Tengu actually existed. However, it is a historical fact that there was an important person like Katsura Kogoro who was close to that. The Tengu kaiju that caused such a fuss was a ploy by Osono to keep his father away from the evil ways of hunting the royal samurai. This was something no one could have imagined. Tengu says this to Sugasaku just before leaving for Kyoto. Sugasaku, all right? Myself and Kogoro are going to Kyoto so that young people don't die, the city of Kyoto doesn't burn down. And we don't have to fight. Even when you grow up, you remind Sugasaku not to imitate adults. From these words, Kurama Tengu of Arakan was not only a person who was passionate about justice, but also a person who was kind to children, strict, and very educational in his approach to them. In order to suppress the Choshu soldiers advancing on the Fushimi Kaido, Kogoro and Tengu once again ride to Kyoto.